Well, hello there, motherfuckers. Here with another Christmas video. So, a few days ago, I heard about this story, and I thought it was just a rumor. I thought somebody got something wrong, like they might have read some random article on one of these sites, like one of these things that Sean's View reports on. He sees something on one site and he reports on it. So I didn't want to be that kind of guy. That's why I stay away from a lot of these rumors. And until I see Fox Sports actually confirming this story, McMahon is going to be bringing back the XFL. And I was like, why? So, 17 years ago, Vince McMahon brought out a football league of his own called the XFL. McMahon figured, hey, if I've already dominated wrestling, why not dominate, actual like real sports like football? And, you know, it was a pretty good idea, I think. Actually, like to me at least, most people knock this. Oh, it was a terrible idea, but why not? I mean, when things are going your way and you've already dominated one market, you got to take some risks. That's what it is. People don't know like about business. They act like they do know about it, but you got to take some risks. Sometimes you got to put your money down and hope for the best. And sometimes it doesn't always work out. And it doesn't necessarily make you a failure, but it makes you brave. It makes you a person that's willing to go into different business ventures. And there was nothing wrong with that. So even if I look back on the XFL, I see it as McMahon being brave. He's being ballsy. And that's something that McMahon's always had. He's never been afraid to do a lot of things, which is why I'm disappointed about the current um, direction of the product and why I rant against it so heavily. So the only thing is now, why would McMahon go back to a failure? Now, see, this is a problem I have. That's why you've never heard me really talk about the XFL. I've never made fun of McMahon and his fans because the thing is, I respect McMahon. I do. We wouldn't have this company to rant about if it wasn't for McMahon. Now, it all depends on who's with McMahon. So obviously, we all know, all the honest people, that Vince Russo is the only one who really seemed to know where to point McMahon when it came to making the product more mature and better for a wider audience of people. Now, of course, McMahon had other people with him during the '80s when there was an even bigger wrestling boom. So it ain't just Russo, but it does depend on who is surrounding McMahon, the bookers, the writers, creative. It all depends on who's around McMahon. But not talking about that right now. The thing is, McMahon is going back to a failed business venture. Why would he do this? Especially when his current product isn't doing that phenomenal in the ratings. Now, I don't know if he's planning on airing this on the network, which I think that would be a huge mistake in itself. And even airing it on TV would also be a big mistake because people already saw this. How much different is it going to be? And because McMahon is in a different frame of mind, he's obviously more stubborn than he's ever been because nobody talks back to the guy. Nobody tells him that, the product is not going well. Because if they did, well, I think the product would be going in a different direction, but it's not. So why go back to something that failed? He's going to go back to this. We're going to see the same mistake being repeated again. And for anybody who doesn't know, that is the definition of insanity, the literal Webster dictionary definition. When you keep on repeating the same mistake again and again and expecting a different result to occur, that is insanity. So you could officially say that by the dictionary way of speaking, McMahon's insane because he's actually expecting the same exact thing to yield a different result, and it's simply not going to happen. It's going to be the same story every single time McMahon tries to branch out of wrestling because he tries to do it on his own. and his team of yes men are just yo ho, they're just nodding along in approval, and it's gonna be miserable. It's not going to last. It was so short lived. What did they make? Did they even make it through the whole season of the XFL? I don't even remember. But bringing this back during this time, it's just like, why would you do that? It's kind of like when they did This Is Your Life with Alexa Bliss. Remember that? I've ranted on that extensively. They already tried to do a remake of This Is Your Life. Remember with John Cena McFoley? And after that failed, why would they go back and do it again? Because the original person who wrote that, Vince Russo, isn't there. So why would they go back after one failure, taking a crack at it and failing? Why would they go back and do it again? So you see, there's a lot of repeated mistakes. And especially when your product is this bad and people are not really feeling your product and you're not getting any new viewers, this is not the way of getting new viewers. The way of getting new viewers would be to actually improve your product, your main product first, which is Raw and SmackDown, and really preferably Raw, because you always say that is your flagship show. Well, improve the product overall. You could, but start small. Focus on one show, maybe, if it's really that tough for you. Try to get Raw better. Try to bring in more casual fans, because the thing is, first of all, people who watch the XFL, you know, and these fans that are long gone, who were the real, die-hard fans of WWE, even if they were casual fans, quote unquote, most of those people are gone. They're history. So maybe, I don't know what it is. I'm trying to get inside the boots of McMahon. I try to do that here in these videos. I try to, think about this from different perspectives other than my own. So maybe McMahon feels that, okay, now you have these die-hard fans here that think that, that this is awesome crowd and everything. I mean, they're hard to please as it is, but, they subscribe to the network and everything. I don't know where this is airing, this reboot of the XFL, but maybe he's counting on those 2 million people to watch the XFL, because maybe he feels like these people that are already locked in, they're guaranteed views, they're guaranteed ratings. But I don't think that's what it is, because I don't think a lot of these people are interested in a football product. I think that's probably one thing that they won't watch, because you see, when it comes to the Smarks, these locked in fans, they've got a lot of other things on their plate. They've got to watch they got to watch New Japan on Access TV. They have to watch, all these other indie promotions. They got a very busy schedule, guys, so you can't expect them to watch some crazy altered football league as well. They're just not going to do that. So the thing is, what I'm trying to say is, if this product was good, at least if the main wrestling product was good, and there were a lot of people watching, like back in the day, if you had like 5, 6, 7 million people still watching the show on a weekly basis, then I could see maybe taking another crack, maybe at the XFL again. If you had that drought and maybe another wrestling boom kicked in, you're like, oh, okay, well, so we have a lot of people now, so let's try to relaunch this and try to be more careful and try not to make the same mistakes we did before. But there's nobody around. They haven't gained any new fans. They've only lost people since the last XFL, the last time they took a stab at it. So why would they do it now? That's what's just blowing my mind. It's like, if unless that's the way McMahon's looking at it, he just wants to focus on that set group of people that tune in every week, the This Is Awesome crowd, the Smarks, then I could start to see it. But I don't think those people are going to be interested. They don't want to see that. They're too focused on seeing Naka Murphy as champion. So, I don't know, guys. I think it's a terrible idea. I think McMahon is kind of off his rocker at the moment, but who really knows? Anyway, guys, this is your YWC champ signing out.